Ford or Mel Michaud, Michaud, 263 Dixie Lane, Tarpon Springs, Florida, phone 813-938-5076 on Tuesday, February the 21st, 1989, and Helen Earley of the Oldsmobile History Center. Location was at Mr. Michaud's home in Tarpon Springs, tape 1 of 1 tape. Okay, Milford, why don't you go ahead and tell us who you are?
My name is Milford Michaud. Really, Michaud. Really, Michaud. And
What nationality is that?
French. I'm French, Canadian French. And then when I was 19, I was in northern Maine, working in lumber. Wish I didn't like it very well. So my brother was in Michigan. So when I decided that I'm going to leave this kind of life and go to Michigan, so I came. Went to school for a while.
Where'd you go to school?
Eastern High School for a while till I found a job. Then I got in the Oldsmobile in 1935. In those days, you had something in it. You had to know somebody in there to pull you in. And Mr. Miller was the head of employment then. Remember Mr. Miller?
Yes.
And Mr. Gus Pecker, he was a foreman in the motor plant. And my brother was friends with him. So he pulled me in there.
What was your first job in
My first job was in the motor plant, working on connecting rods.
What did you do on connecting rods?
Well, it was machine work. I mean,
Machining?
machining and
Parts?
yeah, machining parts. And
Who was your supervisor, your foreman?
Gus Pecker.
And then the superintendent of that area was?
That's a long time ago.
That's all right. We can have you go on.
I forgot about that.
What do you mind telling us? What was your wage?
I think it was 65 cents an hour, or 63, 65, and then kept going up. But I thought it was good money because in northern Maine I worked for 50 cents a day. and then I worked in motor plant for 2 years. And then I, like everybody else, you could transfer to final assembly.
What building was final assembly in?
One on Old Avenue, was that long building along there?
Division Street, on Division Street. You go on Division Street in.
Because I was there for a couple of years. Then,
Who was your foreman there?
Yeah.
Or the superintendent?
Superintendent is same guy as
Mike Mennel.
Mike Mennel. Mike Mennel was still.
What kind of a man was he to work with?
Well, I didn't know him too well. I didn't have too much contact with him.
Had the union come in yet?
The union was organizing at the time.
I see.
It was organizing at the time. And I was there when he had that holiday in Lansing. Remember that holiday? Union holiday?
No? Tell us about it.
Downtown, you didn't?
I wasn't living in Lansing then. Tell us about it. That was in 1930.
The union was organizing and they were fighting us. So we called a holiday. Every worker in the Oldsmobile left. We went downtown, they had riots down there and everything else.
The union was fighting because it was a closed shop?
No, it wasn't a closed shop yet. No, it wasn't a closed shop yet. But union want to organize.
Okay.
And we had a hard time, so we called it a holiday.
You didn't want to organize, or you did?
Well, at that time, I didn't know too much about it. You know, I was kind of green at the time. But I went along with the people that I was working with. And then we had a holiday, which it caused trouble downtown.
How
A lot
long
of
did
trouble.
that last?
Just a day.
A day.
Just a day, yeah. Just a holiday. And from then on, I joined the union, and of course, yeah,
Did your wages go up after that?
well, they started going up a little bit, yeah, but not too much. It took a long time to.
About 63 cents, maybe. 65.
Well, I think I started at 63, and I went up to 65, and
Okay.
up a nickel, a nickel here, a nickel there.
What
They
did
took
you do on the assembly line?
I assembled stuff. I mean,
What parts?
well, I worked on the hoods. I assembled it. I mean, I installed the hood. Then one year, I spit tags. I tacked down a carpet car,
Oh, in the front seat or the back?
front seat and the back both.
Tell us about the spitting tags.
Well, what I had is magnetic a hammer, and I keep the tack in my mouth, and I turn the point so the head would be
Out or
so the
in?
head would be out. And I go like this all day long, and then I hold it. I'd have to hold the carpet down, so then I put a tack right there. See. Luckily, I never hit my finger.
Would you wear gloves for that?
No, couldn't wear gloves.
So were there two people working, like one person?
One on one side, one on the other. Yeah,
I see. So you installed the front and the rear.
and the rear. The carpet was in there. It was already
I
installed.
see. It's already in, but you had to tack it down.
We had to fasten it. Yeah, we had to fasten it down.
Now, was there anything in the trunk of the car? Any covering, floor covering? Did you do anything?
No, we didn't do that at all.
Okay.
Just carpeting. Then one year I installed wires, ignition wires.
Ignition.
Wires I installed in the motor.
Oh, what building was that in? Was that
The
still?
same building.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know where the final assembly was.
I think it was building 40, wasn't it?
No, the 40s is inside.
Oh,
It's
28.
along Olds Avenue.
28,
It's 28.
I believe.
I think it's 28.
Or 33. They were right together.
I think it's 28.
Mhm. Okay.
What else you want?
Well, you retired from material handling, didn't you?
No, I retired from expense store.
Expense stores.
Yeah.
Okay. Who did you work with in expense store?
I worked for Howard King.
Okay. What kind of thing was Howard Keen to work with?
He's a nice guy, very nice guy. I liked Howard. Tried to help you if he could, you know. But previous to that, I was in material handling, and I saw Howard King. I said, I'd like to be working for you. So he got me over there in the expense store.
See. Well, now after you're in the assembly plant here and you're tacking a carpet down, and then you went into the electrical wiring where you were wiring.
Well, that's an assembly.
Right. Then what's your next work?
Well, an opening came up in customer service, building 62.
The superintendent or the foreman?
My foreman was Broadbent was over there at the time.
Okay.
Names I can't remember anymore.
That's all right.
Names I can't remember. Anyway,
What did you do?
but over there, I picked stock.
Just picking stuff.
Pick stock is the dealers send an order in. The order's given to you. You go in the stock room and pick that stock.
Okay.
Then you take it to the packing room where they pack it. Then it goes to shipping room where it's shipped to where it's supposed to go.
Now, did this cover all of the components or were these small parts?
These are small parts, and there's some large parts, like sheet metal. All the covered, and motors even.
Oh,
Even-
it
even
covered
any part of the car, yeah.
any of the
Oh, that's right.
tires. Did you ship tires?
No, we didn't have a tires. Sorry, just the stuff that you.
And now that was pretty much done manually, wasn't it? I mean, your record keeping, or did you have some
No, that's all.
mechanized?
No, nothing was mechanized.
It's all
Yeah.
by hand.
All by hand.
Or did you work with pre-carbonized forms, or did you have to insert your own carbon to make a copy? How did you keep your records?
We had carbonized forms. Yeah.
Okay.
From there, I went on the shipping dock.
Yeah. Well, what time did you go into parts and accessories or parts?
What time?
Yeah, time. I mean, was it before the war?
Before the war, yes.
I
Before the
see.
war, yeah.
Okay.
Before the war. From there, in the same building, I went to the shipping room where I loaded cars to ship to the BOP plants. And I loaded trucks also.
So there were two docks, a rail truck and the truck dock.
Yes. It was $2. And from there, I went to the shipping office where, well, I made bill ladings. And at times when the foreman was in there, I used to take care of all the shipping, like ordering trucks for shipping and all that stuff, and loading it. I used to take care of that.
How many people were working in that area? Would you
Oh, that's
hazard a guess?
probably about 25 maybe. So
Shipping.
we had people working on the dock loading. And then Wakeman was our superintendent then. There.
Glenn Wakeman.
Glenn Wakeman.
I'm aware of the name.
Glenn Wakeman, yeah. It was on that. And the Brandle was upstairs.
But
Carl Brandle. Carl Brandle was upstairs.
not Bud, but Carl.
I think it's Carl.
Carl. Okay.
Gray haired fella. He was upstairs in the main office.
Who else worked in the main office? Do you remember?
In our office.
It's upstairs in Mr. Brandle.
Well, there was then and Ken Mix. Remember Ken Mix?
Yes.
Ken Mix, he was up there. He took Brandon's place when Brandon retired. Ken Mix. Ken Mix was he was a nice enough fellow. He never bothered me. He was kind of rough. Don't put that on. Then I moved upstairs for a while.
Doing what?
Well, we processed orders where the customers called it some you wanted some parts,
Oh, could a customer then call the bank?
You could call them. You could call them.
Bypassing the deal.
Yes, you could call right in. Then we process the order and send it downstairs to be picked and shipped. And
Well, then would that part be shipped direct to the customer? So he must have been able to take that part and to go to any.
well, no, it was shipped to the dealer where the guy. Suppose the guy got stuck somewhere. He needed part real bad.
I see.
Then they call it in.
The customer would call it in.
Well, or the dealer would
Or
call
the
it in.
dealer.
Dealer would call it in. And we'd pick it and ship it right away. So we used to have it.
See.
And then what else?
What did you do during the war?
I went to service.
What's that?
1945, I believe.
45. The war was just about over.
It was about over. That's when I was 31 years old at the time. He just
I
got
see. Well, what did you do? Then you were working at the factory during the war?
Yes.
What did you do during this war?
I went into the 20 millimeter gun.
Support the
26, I believe. 26.
Remember
I was on inspection there,
inspecting guns?
inspecting
How
guns, yeah.
would you inspect it?
Well, it was involved really. I inspected the bore inside.
The bore?
The bore inside the rifling.
Yes.
That's what I
How
inspected.
did you do that?
We had a long bore, so they call it bore scope. There's a light on the end of it. And we'd sit in a chair and pull whip back all the time. And then I'd look inside that bore scope. Any defect was in there, we could see it. Any defects in the rifling, we could see it and we reject it.
So you really inspected each gun?
Each gun. Each gun. Each gun.
What did you do with the guns that you rejected? What was done with them?
Well, they repaired them. If the tear on the rifle was too ragged, they went in there with some emery cloth and smoothed it out so the shell wouldn't catch on it. See what I mean?
Now, would that have to be done manually?
Manually, yes.
So
Yeah, manually, yeah. Yeah, we had repairmen all the time.
Suppose you couldn't smooth it out with an emerald.
That would have scrapped
The gun scrapped.
it. Yeah, scrap it. It's too bad we couldn't
Do
repair
you
it.
recall a great deal of scrappage?
No. Very, very, very little scrapping. Very little scrapping. Of course, we tried to repair as much as we could too.
Of course. Did you work on shells?
I worked what do you call the ogive?
Now, what is that?
Ogive is the cone on top of the shell. You know that cone on top of the shell?
Comes to a peak.
It comes to a peak. That's what I worked on for a while. Not
Okay. Now, what did you do?
inspection.
Inspection.
I stayed in inspection.
Inspect those.
Well, check the threads. Check to see if you had any flaws in it. Or
Is this more of a visual check, or did you have gauges? That
we had gauges. Gauges. So see if they were round. But there wasn't too much to that job. I didn't stay there too long.
then what?
And from there,
Who was your foreman during the time you were on the OJI?
got by the name Gillette. Got by the name of Gillette, I believe.
Superintendent?
He was a superintendent. I mean, the head boss, superintendent, I guess, Gillette. And from there, I went to show, you know. Yeah, I think I went to circuit from there.
In 45, but do you remember the month?
Wasn't it? It was in May. It's early spring.
How long did you stay in the service?
Just 16 months. See, I was 31 when I went in. And the war in Europe was fizzling out. But they got me anyway, which I was glad to go. And then I went down to Alabama and I stayed there for 16 months and they let me out.
Just in the training,
Training area. Yeah. I was
what were you going to be trained for?
for a foot soldier. You know,
Yeah,
just
right. Okay.
and then I stayed.
Replacement infantry. Okay.
Yeah, IRTC. Stayed there for 16 months. So
When you went in the service, did you have any assurance that you would have a job back at Oldsmobile?
well, they tried to take care of their boys when they came back.
Right.
They did that. Yeah, they did that. And when I came back,
Now this would be in late 46.
46, I think 46, yeah. When I came back, they asked me what I wanted to do, where I want to go. He tried to help me that one. And then I said, well, I want to go back to where I was service. Because they were working overtime over there and we were flat broke. And then Mr. Gillette came over there when he knew I came back. He came over there and tried me to go back on inspection again. And maybe if I'd have stayed there, if I'd have went on inspection, maybe I'd have been better off. Because he wanted me real bad. But like I said, I need money and we were working overtime, so I declined it. And then from there, I went on the material handling for Mr. King.
And what building was material handling?
That was building, we called it a jet plant.
Oh, plant 3.
Plant 3, called it jet plant, yeah.
Okay.
I went over there.
What were they building then when you went over there?
Well, they're building crankshafts.
Had the bumper plating started?
Bumper plating was there, yes. Bumper plating was there. Crankshafts, and they were loading cars over there too.
So what was your responsibility?
I was working in the shipping office over there.
Who was the superintendent there?
Howard Kane.
Howard Kane.
Yeah.
And so what did you do actually? Did you see mechanization coming in mixed with the office procedure then? Were there more things?
Not so much, no. It was, that didn't start really till I left. After I left.
So when you went over into material handling, about what year was that? Would that be in the early 50s?
Must have been the 50s.
It was after the introduction of the rocket engine?
Yeah, that was after that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was doing the same thing over there as I did in parts and service when I was in the shipping room over there.
And that means the same thing as material handling.
Yeah.
I see. So the inventory actually was at plant 3, and you picked from the inventory to fill orders.
No.
Okay.
No, it isn't. It was different.
Okay.
We shipped from plant 3 to the other plants.
I
We
see.
fed the other plants, the other buildings.
So this was an internal distribution.
It was internal, yeah. Yeah. And then we did some shipping also. We shipped to the BOP from there too.
The assembly plants.
Assembly plants, yeah. We shipped.
Did they handle, now in your area, handle all parts, small parts, and large parts?
Well, later on we had small parts when they built the new building.
Oh, the parts warehouse out on West St. Joe?
No, not that one.
Oh, you
Right next to her.
mean the forge plant, plant 2?
No. Wasn't not right next to our building. They building the small parts
Oh,
fabrication.
as an addition to plant 3?
Yeah. It was connected with us, but I
You
mean,
called it small parts fabrication.
yeah.
And what was in that area?
Well, they made small parts like brackets and all that stuff.
See, like brackets to hold the exhaust?
Yeah, all kinds of brackets like that. Yeah.
I see. Well, do you remember any incidents of when you needed parts, you didn't have them to ship? Any emergencies
No,
or any problems with certain parts?
no, we never. Should we never encountered that. We don't know.
See. So, but your responsibility didn't have anything to do with actually getting the parts
No,
there.
no,
That was someone else's.
I was still shipping over there,
Mhm.
making bills of ladings and all that stuff, ordering trucks and how was the same thing that I was doing in parts and service.
What trucking companies did you use?
Well, we use them all U.S. around Lansing, U.S. or Bender, Loudon, and all that stuff. Ellis trucking.
Blue Arrow.
Yeah.
Well, now, you were with Kane. Did you work with Clyde Signs? Was he there then?
Signs was in the fruits plant, wasn't it? Clyde was. he wasn't in.
applied science?
Yeah,
Okay, he came in later then. Okay, then did you work with, Pee Wee Sheetal?
Pee Wee Sheetal, yeah.
Kind of a man who's he to work.
He was good. I hadn't known him too well, but he was good. Nice fella. Very nice
And,
fella.
see, Fred Malenfant, did you work with him?
Fred Malenfant, I worked through him, yeah. He was in 60, so
Right.
he was in 60, Malenfant, yeah. I worked, I had things to do with him.
Can you remember, or would you want to tell us what your salary was then? You were obviously on, salary now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
He was real low.
a ballpark figure. We're attempting to get
Yeah,
an overview
Yeah.
of how life was
Yeah.
in certain eras. So,
well, I was getting a little bit more than hourly.
and they were getting what?
Now, I'm not sure, you think.
I know when he was working overtime there.
$5 an hour or something?
About straight time was 5 an hour, you would say.
I would think so, yeah.
That's close enough to
Yeah,
give us.
yeah. Wasn't very much, you know. It's not enough like it is now.
And then did you get much overtime?
At times, I did in parts and service. A lot of overtime.
And that you were naturally paid for the overtime.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, time and a half. Time and a half.
Who did Kane report to? You know, were you under manufacturing or production?
Manufacturing.
Because you were really non-productive stores, weren't you?
Yeah, that's right. Not productive store, yeah.
Okay, and so then Kane would report to manufacturing. Who was manufacturing the manager? Was it Tom Downey? Do you remember?
I remember Tom Downing, but it wasn't him.
Okay, was it Bob Rollis?
Might have been Rollins. I'm not really sure now.
Bob Cook?
Hey, Cook. Cook's the one.
Bob Cook,
Bob
okay.
Cook's the one, yeah. Because I remember Cook coming over there once in a while, checking.
How was he to work with?
It's fine. He never bothered me, you know.
Mhm.
But if he had a job to do, you gotta take care of it.
Sure. Do you remember any labor problems? Any situations that,
Not really. No, everything is running pretty smooth. That I recall. No problems.
so then you got out of material handling into
What?
the stores, or was
Yeah,
it the
and
same?
Kane, Mr. Kane came over there one day and said, as an handle tours, I'd like to be working again for you. So he arranged for me to go to Stores G
Now, where were they located?
in the same building, except it's in it wasn't the same building. Not too far from where I was working.
It's still in Plant
Yes, it wasn't too far, so I moved over there.
And Stores G, what?
Well, they had all the expense material coming in, like screws or whatever you needed.
Oh, they're very small.
Small parts, yeah, small parts. They handle that, yeah. And over there, I handled the incoming material that they needed. Of course, I had to check the order, see if it corresponded with the purchase order,
Okay.
and then that was okay. I used to tap it up on a receiving slip and send a receiving slip to accounts payable.
So that was a manual job of actually typing a receiving slip.
Yes, some of that, and checking also.
Well, then, did somebody else actually physically put the parts on the shelves?
Yes,
You
in
did
the stock room.
not.
In the stock room, yeah. They checked it also. It was all right.
remember any instances of when you needed parts, like before the, since you were, internally distributing parts, when the line could have gone down if you hadn't had certain
Well,
parts?
we had another guy in the office doing that. He's ordering the parts.
I
He was
see.
ordering the parts. When they came, I handled them.
So you don't recall any instances of when the line just about went down or when it did go down because of a shortage of parts?
No, but I recall instances where they needed stuff right now at the main plant, or is he gonna shut down? That happened several
Well,
times.
what would you do in a case like that?
Well, he just scrambled around and got the parts. And it's material that we made over,
Okay, so we're talking about if there were,
it's material that we manufactured over there. They needed a main plant, so we fit in the main plant. And then somebody scrambled and got the parts and then ordered the truck right away.
but these were still small parts
Well,
that you were making over there, that were being made in
no,
plant
we
three.
made crankshafts over there too. We have made a lot of crankshafts over there. So,
But what about a part that was coming in from an outside supplier? Do you remember any instances? You also were receiving those too. weren't you?
well, I was receiving a small parts, just a small parts, not the
But some of those came in from outside suppliers, didn't they?
parts that they received in there. A lot of times they went to the machine repair. They need something from machine repair. Yeah. And it's,
Why would they have to go to machine repair?
well, machine repair, a lot of times they need parts to fix something.
I see, okay.
See, but and then they ordered through us, and we got them in, and
Right. Okay.
so
So from your area of responsibility, there never was a crisis where the line had to be shut down because of the lack
not a
of
real
parts?
crisis. No, I don't remember any time where they shut down the line on our fault. Because we had trucks coming day and night hauling to the main plant.
How many shifts was the main plant running?
We had 2 shifts in our place. 2 shifts. That's 2.
Did you handle a lot of paperwork yourself?
Yes, a lot of paperwork.
So the anything mechanized hadn't started in?
No.
And you retired when, Milford?
In 1974.
1974. And had you planned to retire, or did you take an offer from the company?
I took an offer. Well, I always said, first chance I get, I'm going to retire. 39 years.
30 years.
But it's getting me good living. I mean, I had no complaints. It provided for me, and of course, with her help.
Run through my questions. So really, you didn't work on the jet engine at all?
No.
Except just
No.
to
No.
handle
No.
parts?
I didn't work on production.
Okay.
Very, very little.
Always non-productive.
Always non-productive.
Well, Linda, you didn't really have any experience in the bumper plating area either.
Not in the labor part, no.
Just looking over my notes here. So, if, say here, what time did you go to work in the morning? And then let's take these steps all through the day. How did one day's job go?
I got up in the morning, or she did. She was working that time too.
What time would that be?
But
What time did you have
about
to
6 o'clock, I guess I got up.
What time?
At 7.
At 7? At
At 7.
plant 3.
Plant 3, yeah.
Okay.
I got up at 7, made coffee. I about quarter to 6. No, we left at 6:30, didn't we?
So then you were there at 7.
We were there at 7, yeah.
What did you do when you got there at the office?
Well, I had a
was your
cup of coffee.
first
I had a cup of coffee. I brought my coffee with me. I had a cup of coffee. And
They
then
didn't have computers in the plant then. Okay.
didn't have anything like that. And then I read the paper. I bought a paper on the way in. I read the paper, and at 7 o'clock I started to work.
And this work then would be, what exactly would you do? Kind of lead me through it step by step, if you don't mind.
Well, first I'd check what came in, the stuff that came in the day before.
These are part supplies.
Part supplies, yeah, small parts, yeah.
Those, you would check that from a manifest?
No, I'd check it.
From,
I pulled a purchase order.
okay,
I check it against the purchase order.
you check the receiving slip against
re-
the purchase order?
I check the packing slip.
The packing slip,
Packing
okay.
slip against the order. See if it's all there or not. Or if it corresponded.
And then say this order corresponded, then you would go to the next order, the next purchase
Yes.
order, checking it. Okay.
I went through all my packing slips that way.
Okay, now say we come to one that doesn't check with the purchase order, then what would you do?
Well, what I do is, what came in, I checked it. I checked it out. Then, if the order wasn't all there, I type it up,
You would type what up?
what came in.
You would type a receiving slip
The
up?
receiving slip of what
Okay.
came in.
Right.
And then I put the order back in the open file, because it wasn't complete yet.
I see.
But
Okay.
it wasn't complete, so I put it in the open file. Then I went to the next packing slip, and that's what I did all day long.
Well, then, what happened after that order was in the open file? What would be the next step to try to complete that order? Would somebody else come and?
Well, he was on back order. It would be coming in later on.
Okay, so, but that was an automatic thing if that order was put in the open file, that the material was on back order.
Yes.
Okay, but you didn't have any knowledge of when
No. We got no
that
knowledge.
item would come in. So that was your job all day checking.
And then a telephone.
Okay, now what about an average telephone call?
One morning, I took about 100 telephone calls. I think, maybe I told you how many telephone? About 100 telephone calls half a day.
Now, these were internal calls coming from
Internal
different
calls,
parts of the plant
Yeah.
that they needed one part or another.
Yeah, checking the parts. Had that come in, or how much of it come in? Check all the time.
I see. So that actually was kind of a clerical thing. It
It
wasn't
was
any
clerical.
physical thing going and
No,
seeing if
clerical thing.
part
Yeah.
13's
yeah,
on the shelf. I
yeah.
see. So, you're checking these phone calls against what is in and what isn't in.
Yeah,
Then
from the
it's
purchase order.
from the purchase order. It's someone else's responsibility then to get that part over to the person who made the call. Obviously, they needed it or they wouldn't have been calling.
Well, that way, I put the purchase order in the open file. And then somebody would call, see if that part that's coming in has come in.
Suppose it hadn't, then what happened?
Well, the purchasing department would check on it.
Then who alerted the purchasing to check on it?
Well, they call me first.
The person.
A lot of times they call the purchasing department, see that part that come in.
Well, let me see. Like I'm out in the plant, I need a part. Who would I call? Would I call you first?
No, you call purchasing.
I call purchase.
Purchasing, yeah.
And if,
Purchasing would issue bill, purchasing order. You send it to me, I put it on file until the stuff come in.
right.
Until the stuff come in.
But this person in the plant would check purchasing first to see if the part is in.
Part come in, yeah.
And purchasing, if it's in, would have sent you a verification.
Purchasing would call me.
Oh, would call, and this was handled all by phone.
All by phone, yeah.
Okay, well, suppose, purchasing, hadn't called you. So what do you tell the person on the phone? The part isn't in.
What? It was all handled through the purchasing department.
So then that person who wanted the part would have to go back to the, purchasing department, and purchasing would follow the
Well,
supplier?
if it was within the plant, they called me too, you know.
Yes, yes, but I'm thinking of you didn't then work on any parts with outside vendors.
No.
Okay, now I see what
No. That's about
well, it's quite a responsible job, isn't it?
well, it was tedious. I mean, all the phone calls coming in all the time.
Tremendous detail,
De-
keep track of.
detail, yeah.
right? How many people were in your area then when you retired?
Well, I was me and another guy,
See,
and Mel Louch.
about,
Mel Louch. I don't know if he's retired now yet or not.
I believe he has.
Isn't he the one that's on the west coast there? Remember?
No, that's
Oh, I thought he
that's Rybar.
Oh,
He was
yeah,
not.
right,
He was on the
right.
side.
So you worked with Mel Louch then, or knew him?
Yeah. And then my foreman was what's his name?
Bob, Stump. Bob Stump.
Oh, that was material handling.
Oh, I don't know yet over the other place.
Well, remember he used to be at Parts and Service,
Oh, you mean Harold?
and he asked you for it.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot his name now.
Well,
Right.
that's all right.
As you get older, you know.
Oh, yes, names don't stick with the person
I know,
sometimes.
yeah.
Wait. Well, then, Milford, you retired in 74 from the, expense stores.
Yeah, that's right.
And at that time, Howard King was your immediate supervisor.
He was my superintendent.
Superintendent. That's 30.
You know Howard Kane, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
We've interviewed Mr. Kane.
Or did you?
Yes. Then you had 39 years.
9 years in.
Well,
Long time.
yes, it is. Well, Milford.
A long time, but it seems like it went like this.
Well, they say time goes fast when you're enjoying yourself.
It went by fast. I really didn't. It didn't seem that long to me.
And the working conditions were good, weren't they?
Oh yeah, very good, very good. I never had trouble in there. Never had trouble. I did the best I can. I kept my nose clean.
Well, this is a great interview. Why don't we close this off, and I'll talk with Marguerite about her years at
Okay.
Oldsmobile, and we'll go from there. What I'd like to do.
I was sitting here trying to remember